You've probably had an experience like this, right? You open an online shopping site. You see original price $199, and right below it, in red, today only $99. Something feels a bit off, but your finger is already tapping add to cart. In your head, you're thinking, do I really need this? But at the same time, another thought pops up. I'm saving $100, isn't it a loss if I don't buy it? Alright, today, let's seriously shake that belief that you're a rational consumer. Most people think like this: I judge prices logically. I don't fall for discounts. But, let me tell you about a famous experiment from 1974. Researchers spun a roulette wheel in front of participants. It randomly landed on either 10 or 65. Then they asked a completely unrelated question. What percentage of African countries do you think are members of the UN? And here's the shocking result. People who saw the number 10 answered, on average, about 25%. People who saw 65 answered, on average, about 45%. Wait a second, the roulette number has nothing to do with African countries, right? So why did the answers change so much? What's even more surprising is that even when researchers offered cash rewards for correct answers, the gap barely changed. In other words, people don't judge based on information, they get pulled by the first number they see. This leads us to today's two key concepts. First, the reference point bias. We don't see prices as they are. We always need something to compare against. This comparison point is called a reference price. Simply put, it's the fair price in your head, the price you believe it should be. For example, when you hear $5 coffee, you think, drinks are usually $2, or Starbucks is $6, and judge it that way. Second, the anchoring effect. The real issue is where that reference point comes from. Most of the time, it's simply the first number we see. Think of it like an anchor dropped in your mind. All later judgments move only around that anchor. Just like a ship can't go far once it drops anchor, our judgments are limited too. Now it gets really interesting. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. He was shopping for wireless earbuds. This is what he saw. Original price $199. Today only $99, 50% off. His reaction? Wow, I'm saving $100. That's almost half off. But here's what most people don't realize. At that moment, this is how our brain calculates. It doesn't feel like spending $99. It feels like earning $100. In reality, $99 is leaving your bank account. Let's do the math very simply. Don't buy it, spend $0. Buy it, $99 leaves your account. But our brain says, I saved $100, and disguises spending as a gain. This is the trick of the reference point. Once $199 is set as the anchor, $99 suddenly feels incredibly cheap. You might be thinking, but buying a $199 product for $99 is rational, isn't it? Good question. Let's go one step deeper. The real problem isn't the discount. It's whether the original price was ever a valid reference. Let's compare. Same product. Store original $199. Sale $99. Store B price $89. Which is cheaper? Obviously B. It's $10 less. But once we see Store A's $199, our brain compares like this. We feel a $100 gain at Store A, but no gain at Store B. And that's how we end up choosing the more expensive option. That's the danger of anchoring. It changes the comparison itself. What's surprising is that the anchor doesn't even need to be a reasonable number. In a 2003 experiment, participants were asked to think about the last two digits of their ID number. Then they were asked how much they would pay for a product. People with high numbers like 87 or 94 named prices up to 3 times higher than those with numbers like 12 or 23. Does that make sense? That your willingness to pay is influenced by your ID number? But that's human behavior. We don't think deeply about value. We set a rough anchor from the first number we see, then adjust slightly. Behavioral economists call this insufficient adjustment. And here's the real reason money leaks away. Anchoring doesn't happen just once. At first, you think, $99 for earbuds? That's expensive. But after seeing $199 repeatedly, your reference point creeps up, and $99 starts to feel reasonable. So you make a large purchase with a strangely comfortable feeling because the anchor moved. Now, practical solutions. Just 5 rules. First, set your reference point before looking at prices. For example, I won't spend more than $70 on earbuds. Second, compare at least 3 options. One option becomes an anchor. Third, ignore discount rates. Look only at the final amount leaving your account. Fourth, follow the 24-hour rule. The more it says today only, the more you should wait a day. Fifth, convert price into time. If you earn $3,000 a month, $99 is about 8 hours of work. Ask yourself, is this worth a full day of my labor? That question breaks anchors very effectively. To summarize, we think we evaluate prices rationally, but in reality, the first number becomes the anchor and pulls our judgment. So, people who protect their money set their own anchors first. People who lose money follow anchors set by others. Starting today, do just one thing. Set your reference point before looking at prices. That single sentence will protect your wallet. In the next episode, we'll talk about FOMO, the fear of missing out, in today's surging stock market. If this helped, please like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode.